Happy New Year, and of course welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're live from our studios here in Abuja. It's my pleasure to welcome you to year 2021. I'm Comfort, I'm Modu. Let's take a look at the headlines. To usher in New Year 2021, President Buhari reassures Nigerians on more commitment to national security.
2021 will indeed be a year where we will work to reinforce the hopes of fellow Nigerians.
As Nigerians welcome the new year, Christians, clergies admonish citizens to sustain compliance with COVID-19 safety
protocols.
Listen
to the science, as they say. Put on your face mask. When you're in a public place, wash your hands.
Kaduna security operatives neutralize bandits along Kaduna-Abuja highway. Armed forces of Nigeria review operations in the outgone year.
1,910 criminals were arrested, majority of them under investigation.
And let's begin the news with President Buhari's promise to remain unshaken in his genuine commitment to the people of Nigeria, especially the youth, whose future, he said, must be effectively secured for sustainable growth and development of the country. In a nationwide broadcast to usher in the new year 2021, the president also promised to reorganize and re-energize the nation's security apparatus towards pushing back and dismantling the operations of all criminal groups threatening national security and civic well-being. State House correspondent Adam Musombo has details.
The year 2021 will indeed be a year where we will work to reinforce the hopes of fellow Nigerians in the vision of a united and progressive Nigeria.
To achieve this, President Muhammadu Buhari said his administration would continue focusing on delivering key strategic priorities under the security, economy, as well as the anti-corruption agenda.
As your elected president, I will play my part fully and without fear or favor. I invite all of us to do the same. It is what we owe to the founding generation of our beloved country and also to the coming generation. It is what we desire for national prosperity for all demands.
Describing the youth as the nation's most valuable natural resource, the president promised to ensure that their entrepreneurial drive is fully supported and encouraged.
Their ingenuity, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit is evident to all. We will partner with the legislature to develop an enabling environment to turn their passions into ideas that can be supported, groomed, and scaled across regions.
The year 2020, President Buhari acknowledged, was not only a tough one for the country, but also put to test the national resilience and abilities, saying, however, that Nigeria will indeed survive and thrive.
As your elected president and commander-in-chief, I would ensure that these ongoing challenges will be faced head-on with renewed determination and with all the appropriateness and urgency required. Your voices have been heard, and we will continue to listen to you and all the key stakeholders who are committed to the unity of Nigeria to ensure that every region of this nation is safe for us all.
And with the recent reopening of the nation's borders, expectations are that the pent-up demand of legitimate cross-border and international trade will boost the fortunes of the many small businesses and agricultural enterprises.
The message to our West African neighbors is that Nigeria is once again fully open for those willing to conduct business in a fair and equitable way. On the anti-corruption drive of our administration, we have recorded substantial gains so far, and this year we are committed to continuing along the path of eradicating corruption through collaboration with all the arms of government to effectively prosecute this fight. We will ensure the diligent and timely prosecution of corruption cases.
Keeping Nigeria on a forward march, the president insists it's a collective responsibility and urged the citizenry to strictly observe the coronavirus prevention protocols as the federal government finalizes plans to procure and effectively distribute the COVID-19 vaccines towards ensuring that the country is safe from the resurgent cycle of the global pandemic.
Long live the Nigerian spirit of oneness, togetherness, and unity.
From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now, it's a brand new year across Africa, Asia, and Australia, and as much awaited year 2021 finally arrives. We join Musa Aliu now, who reports that the new year was welcomed with spectacular fireworks.
The countdown to welcome the new year started in the Pacific island of Tonga, to New Zealand, and Sydney in Australia. Even though the big countdown happens just before midnight everywhere in the world, it's actually a sequence from one part of the world to another. After traveling all around the world, the new year eventually comes to full cycle. Japan, South Korea, and countries in the Middle East were ahead of Europe, Africa, and Americas in witnessing the new year.
And as Nigerians welcome the new year 2021, Christian clergies are admonishing citizens to comply with the directives of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 to win war against the pandemic. Oluseye Adeagbe reports that crossover night services were observed in adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols at the various churches visited in Abuja.
The watch night service is an important part of worship for most Nigerian Christians and usually a special service to usher in the new year with thanksgiving to God for his faithfulness and prayers for a better new year. But this time it is a service with a new normal, and clerics say Nigerians and the Christian community must continue to abide with directives of health authorities to avoid the community spread of the second wave of COVID-19.
Government are rolling those policies to save lives, and that is what government is all about for. So we just must comply, and we bear in mind that it will not last forever.
So we encourage the people of God, we encourage Nigerians to please cooperate with the government. We want to see an end to this pandemic.
Listen to the science. As they say, put on your face mask. When you're in a public place, wash your hands. When you go out and you come back, use this sanitizer. Teach that to those around you, teach that to your kids, and we believe, God, that this pandemic will become a history.
For Ambassador Bulus Dolo, a former permanent secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, like other Christians, God is still worthy of praises in spite of the challenges that bedeviled the globe and Nigeria inclusive in the year 2020.
In the course of 2020, we saw the manifestation of COVID-19, but we also saw the mighty hand of God that saves, protects, and delivers.
That is why we have come to say, oh God, we are grateful. Surely this God is our God.
In their separate messages, clerics believe the year 2021 will be a year of recovery.
I speak by the anointing of the Lord that in 2021, heaven will beautify you.
With words of prophecies for a better 2021 and intercession for an end to the coronavirus pandemic, the service is also characterized with rendition of songs and personal supplications. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Indeed, 2020 has been an eventful year globally, and most of the flashbacks around the world, even here in Nigeria, have not been very happy ones for many people. Though the year 2020 was characterized by the coronavirus, several other laudable issues played out in the country. Butwa Mila has details on some Nigerians' perspectives on how the year 2020 panned out.
Now, many events would have been on to herald the new year, but for obvious reasons, 2021 is coming in quietly, no thanks to 2020, which has had lots of ups and downs, from economic recession, coronavirus pandemic, NSAS protests, bandits and insurgents, to very positive activities such as launch of an integrated gas handling facilities, inauguration of modular refinery, Lagos-Ibadan train service, Itakpe Warri rail line after 33 years, Onitsha port after 42 years, Nigerian stock exchange outperforming all global markets, the country still being top African economy and 26th in the world, just to maintain a few.
It has also been a year, that has encouraged, positivism from the mindset of every young person. So to me, the year 2020, I don't know the way others see it, but to me, it's a great year. It's a year of encouragement. It's a year of perseverance. It's also a year that has given us the will to carry on.
I believe we'll use the bad or the negative effect of it, the bad side of 2020 to gain or also to build ourselves, to inform of his experience that it will be an advantage for us in years to come.
I want to believe 2021, with what we started in 2020, 2021 will be a better year for Nigerians.
I do not like it because we do not get to go outside for shopping, and we do not get to go and visit our friends or travel.
The year 2020, I would say, is one of the most difficult years. Barely have we started the year when COVID started, and it has gone throughout the whole year. Of course, we have the lockdown. As a result, people are not able to go to work. People are not able to, farmers are not, traders are not able to sell their things. Movement was restricted. And so naturally, the economy will contrast. Besides that, at the time during the COVID, the price of oil fell so low that, it was even better to leave the oil where it is than to even take it to the market. So all this affected the country.
Let's count our blessings, learn our lessons from the year 2020. The best way to move forward and to have a fantastic 2021 is to be grateful.
Just as many have alluded to, that in spite of the rough patches of 2020, we should count our blessings, learn our lessons. As we come to the end of the year, let's love, let's unite, let's forgive, let's respect, let's learn, let's grow while we dust our feet of 2020 and work it with gratitude into the year 2021. In Abuja, I am Butwa Mila, NTA News.
Now, Governor Simon Bako Lalong has congratulated Plateau State citizens and indeed Nigerians for witnessing the year 2021. The governor, in a message, said despite the challenges of the outgone year, Nigerians should be optimistic and pray for recovery and progress. Lalong said the economic challenges brought about by COVID-19, and recession can only be overcome by deliberate synergy between the government, private sector, and citizens in pursuing the set objectives that will create opportunities for recovery and growth. He said we must all join our hands together to overcome COVID-19, which adversely affected our economy last year and remains a threat that COVID-19 would cause disruption in the new year because of the second wave. While government intensify action in tackling the disease, the citizens must take personal responsibility for their health, that of others, by strictly observing COVID-19 protocols at all times. Now, government shall not hesitate to take serious measures that will ensure that we avoid another lockdown due to the pandemic. On security, the governor said with the training and deployment of the first batch of the community police constables, his administration will invest more in intelligence gathering and prevent measures by fishing out criminals before they wreak havoc. He promised that the government will continue to support the conventional security agencies to apprehend and prosecute criminals, especially on crimes relating to kidnapping, cultism, land grabbing, and other violent crimes, using the law that he recently signed to curb such occurrences. Governor Lalong further restated the commitment of his rescue administration in human capital development through training and empowerment of youth and women and other groups in various entrepreneurship schemes, both initiated by the state and federal governments. Lalong wished the citizens prosperous new year and also pledged that his administration will continue with the construction of physical infrastructure, including the legacy projects currently going on in the 3 senatorial districts. Let's now take a quick break. More news in a moment. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. The Armed Forces of Nigeria has between 18th March and 30th December 2020 neutralized 2,403 criminal elements across the country. This is in addition to scores of other terrorists and armed bandits killed by airstrikes during the period. Coordinator Defense Media Operations Major General John Enenche disclosed this at the end of the year media briefing in Abuja.
Within the periods under review, troops engaged in series of land, maritime and air operations involving kinetic and non-kinetic approach. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations says these operations resulted in the rescue of 864 kidnapped victims and a recovery of 9,684,797 liters of stolen automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel.
33,516,000 of DPP, among others. And then, yes, it is good to point out here that 1,910 criminals were arrested, majority of them under investigation, and at the end of the investigations, some appropriate judicial processes have commenced, and others will commence on completion of investigation, of which we always fully.
General Enenche attributed the successes recorded to the commitment and determination of the gallant troops.
We will continue to sustain the offensive and will not relent until peace is restored to every troubled zone in Nigeria.
The military high command commended Nigerians for their support and solicited further cooperation in providing credible information that will facilitate proactive engagements in the coming year. In Abuja, Francis from NTA News.
And security operatives have recorded another success in the fight against banditry and other crimes along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. Haruna Mohammed reports that 9 suspected cattle rustlers were neutralized by the operatives along the road.
Kaduna-Abuja highway was for some time a nightmare for motorists on account of high rates of kidnapping, banditry and cattle rustling along the road. Security operatives have made frantic efforts to bring the situation under control. The recent breakthrough was an encounter between security operatives, some bandits and cattle rustlers.
Our eyes are not off the road and other strategic locations, meaning that security agencies are not only on the road, they are also carrying out vigorous and aggressive fighting patrols to hide out where the bandits are located.
The Kaduna State Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai congratulated the troops on the successful operations, urging them to sustain the offensive against criminals. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Commuters and other road users are expressing excitement over the ongoing dual carriageway road expansion project spanning 5 local government areas in Cross River State. Paul Abel has details.
146 kilometers dual carriageway, which covers Mfom in Abuja local government area, connects Yala, Bekwara, Obudu and Obanliku local government areas. The Obanliku, Obudu and Bekwara axis of the road before now was a death trap to motorists, but road users now say they are literally getting their lives back with the return of good roads.
Formerly, it was very hard for people to pass across here. Now that our governor is trying this, making this road, it's going well. The road is okay for us. We cannot be able to change tire like we have been changing before.
The whole Bekwara people, Obodo people, Otuguan people, is our goods from the bush out now. We are very happy with the governor.
Driving from Ogoja to Obudu takes you almost 1.5 hours on this road. Today, you can just jolly do a ride of less than 30 minutes within that neighborhood.
A substantial part of the dual carriageway is already completed, while attention is now being shifted to the Yala-Ogoja axis of the road. In Bekwara local government area of Cross River State, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And despite the coronavirus pandemic that ravaged all sectors of the economy in the year 2020, there is still light at the end of the tunnel as the federal government is not relenting on the steady work at the second Niger bridge to ensure the completion date of February 2022 is met.
Built in 1965, the existing Niger Bridge was a national wonder and became the crucial east-west link for several decades. Today, this traffic corridor has simply become inadequate due to increased vehicular movements, making heavy traffic a daily experience for travelers.
I'm coming from Ondo State. When I come, I spend no less than 2 hours and here before I can cross this bridge. Even if federal government can be seeing all these things, they should help the travelers at least to speed up the second Niger bridge.
Thanks to the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, this unpleasant experience will soon be in the past as the administration is diligently working towards the completion of the second Niger bridge to provide an alternative route for travelers. The scope of the project, which include the construction of 1.6-kilometer long bridge, 10.3-kilometer highway Owerri interchange, and a toll station, has already reached about 50% completion, while the entire project is expected to be completed in February 2022.
When they built that first bridge, they thought it was too much. Now it's not enough, and that's how I think you should look at infrastructure. But you build it once and you hope that you never have to go back to it again.
Aside easing traffic flow, the second Niger bridge, when completed, is expected to create greater opportunities for local residents by advancing the commercial viability of the immediate area. In Onitsha, Maureen Ezokeke, NTA News.
The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, has urged Nigerians to drive safely and stay safe in the new year, saying all bad driving habits should be discarded while the good lessons learned and practiced during the outgone year should be sustained with commitment. This was contained in the New Year message as part of the ongoing sensitization efforts by the call to curtail the spread of COVID-19 and ensure public safety through adherence to traffic rules and regulations. The Corps Marshal expressed gratitude to the Almighty God for the grace of protection and guidance given to the nation in the face of the various health, safety, and security challenges experienced in the outgone year. He therefore appealed for sustained consciousness by people to overcome the challenges in the new year. Time now for some sports updates.